Hello everyone! So it has been a long time since I introduced a new project pan. So I'm very excited to be bringing you this project. This is what I'm calling my running on empty project pan. So I believe some people have done a similar concept to this before. This is something I've been sitting on for a while. Mostly because of the name. I really wanted to do something Jackson Browne inspired. I actually have the Running on Empty album behind me. Jackson Browne is another one of my favorite artists. You guys probably know Fleetwood Mac, Billy Joel, Jackson Browne. And so Running on Empty, as you could probably guess from the name, is all about products that I'm almost finished or products that I'm almost finished with. So it's not necessarily products that I only have a tiny bit left in, but products that I'm going to use for a little bit and probably am going to get rid of. So I only have about 12 products in this basket. I didn't want to have a whole lot of stuff because I'm also working on my makeup basket and rotating through stuff, and I've been decluttering a little bit more as well. Something that I kind of stayed away from when I was project panning more because I wanted to have stuff to use up. And I've almost run my course with project painting on such a large scale because I've done it for so many years and I've learned so many lessons along the way that I'm not really learning anything new. But I've been holding on to things that just have the teeny tiny bit left in it, and I'm always a person who will always leave a little bit left behind with everything. But with beauty products, I find it to be particularly troublesome because then I'll have like 5 or 6 foundations that have maybe a month's worth of use left. Maybe, probably not even. And I just kind of hang on to it. And it's not even necessarily stuff that I really like. It's just because it's like, well, then it's finished. So most of these things are things that I wouldn't be repurchasing right now, with one exception, which I'll mention. So I'll just start with this first one because I already have it in my hand. This is a Cover FX foundation. This is the Natural Finish Oil-Free Foundation. This is the shade N0, so this is too yellow for me. I wanted something really light, mostly for a mixing thing as opposed to something that I would just wear straight up on its own. It's not bad, but I do think P10 will be a better match for me. So somewhere down the road, I want to try another Cover FX foundation. I might try this one again, just in the different shade. So I've been using this mixed with other things and to get a little bit more coverage. It's a beautiful foundation. I love the way it looks on my skin. It can leave me a little bit oily sometimes. If my T-zone is particularly oily, it's really noticeable with this foundation. Even when I set it, that's been kind of my issue with it, but it really does look natural and it doesn't look too heavy, even though I find it can be a little bit of a fuller coverage foundation compared to some of the other things that I usually like to use. So with this foundation, it's kind of difficult to tell where I am right now. I feel like I'm definitely below the text here that says 30 milliliters. I don't think I have much more than like an inch left of product, but where I tend to mix it with things and not just use it on its own, it will take a little while. This is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter project pan, which I'm okay with. And I really wanted to do it because I wanted to encourage people who may be like me to stop hoarding this partially finished stuff and just finish it up. And I'm not just talking about makeup, but if you do this like with hair care or skin care or body care, I have been notorious for doing that. When I used to do empties videos more often, you would often see like 2 or 3 shower gels in every one because I would leave them till there was a bunch scattered around with just a tiny bit left, and then I would finish them all at the same time. And this was just this habit that I got into of just not focusing on 1 or even 2, but just having a ton of different things with different levels of product remaining, and it was so frustrating. And I've mostly been able to stop doing that with some of the body care stuff, but I notice that I do it a lot with makeup, so it's something that I really want to encourage myself to stop doing and potentially encourage some other people to stop doing as well. So I have another foundation. This one is from Tarte. This is the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Full Coverage Foundation. This is in the shade Fair Beige. Again, there's very little left of this. I was going to do like a problematic products project pan, but I didn't really have enough products to really justify it. So I feel like I'm just going to go ahead, pan some of the stuff and just use it as I see fit. And if anybody has any problems with it, I will explain it. Although I've explained myself to death at this point that if somebody's really gonna get annoyed because I'm using a product that they don't personally support, I don't know what to say about that. This was my second bottle of this foundation. I'm going to replace it with something else, another full coverage foundation. I don't wear really full coverage all the time, even though it may look like it. I tend to go for more of a light to medium coverage as opposed to a full coverage. Full coverage for me is really good mostly in the winter time when I have more issues with my skin, like redness. I find a fuller coverage foundation hides that easier, so I don't have to do a whole lot of color correcting and concealing. So I want to finish this up and a bunch of the other things that are half finished so that I can try some new things. And in terms of how much I have left, I would say I'm right around this text area at the bottom. So I'd say there's a little less than a quarter of this foundation left. So it shouldn't take me very long to finish. This is a pretty good color match for me on its own. And I feel like I need to finish it in the next month because once it gets into the warmer weather, I won't want to wear a fuller coverage foundation. I have this tiny little bottle of a white foundation mixer. This is from Makeup Forever. This is the chromatic mix and it's an oil base. So I got this out of curiosity more than anything else. I've really wanted the water-based version for years and it's always out of stock. So when the oil-based came into stock, I had my notifications set at Sephora, so I bought this and I didn't really like it, and I'm not surprised because it's an oil base. The water base would have definitely suited my needs better. So I don't really know how much I have left in this, but the last time I used it when I was mixing it with a darker foundation, I had a really hard time squeezing drops out of it. So it's a dropper style, so you just kind of have to squeeze it, and it was a little bit frustrating, and that's when I knew that I didn't have a whole lot left and that I just needed to focus on finishing it. It works with some foundations to give it a little bit extra dewiness, which I like, but I want just a straight mixer, nothing with extra luminosity or any kind of weirdness. I just want like a white foundation. So I've been looking at a couple of options for once I finish the other white mixers that I have, although ideally I won't need a white mixer and I will just have foundations that match me. The next product is a face primer. This is from Makeup Forever and it's the Hydrating Primer. I really like this primer. I have a tiny, tiny little bit left. I'm definitely around the text here at the bottom where it says Hydrating Primer. I've just been a little bit bored with it because I've loved it for so long. I believe I've loved it since it came out because I got some samples from Sephora with orders, then I got deluxe sizes, and then I purchased the full size. So I've had a pretty long history with this primer and it's really good. It's just once I've used something for so long, sometimes I just feel the need to try something else out. And I haven't been using it because I'm like, oh, I want to play with these other things. I don't want to use the same thing over and over again, even though it's been a reliable primer for me. So I just need to finish it up so that it's gone. And then if I want to repurchase it somewhere down the road, I can do that. Maybe once I try some other things and realize they aren't as good as that one, I will be running back to it. I also decided to throw in this little mini Urban Decay primer. This is the Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. So I like this. I've used it a couple of times. It's a deluxe size thing, so I wasn't really sure what to do with it exactly. Now, I've had a few people ask me about my stance on deluxe size makeup because a couple of years ago I said when I was doing a makeup inventory that I wanted to get rid of all of my deluxe sizes, and then a little while later I said that wasn't true anymore and people were like, what's the deal? The thing is, when I wanted all full-size products as opposed to little deluxe sizes, it was when I was taking more product photos for Instagram. I was having a lot of fun setting up little displays and using my nice camera and taking product photos, and it was a lot of fun. It was also when I was not working. I was on maternity leave, so it was a little bit of a different experience. Taking product photos was something that I could easily do when my son was taking a nap as opposed to like trying to film. So it just, things changed and it became a lot harder for me to take product photos and set everything up and spend all the time I needed to like do things correctly. So I kind of abandoned that and stopped doing product shots and product photos a long time ago now. And so my thoughts on having full sizes as opposed to deluxe sizes changed alongside that. because it makes more sense for me in a lot of cases to have smaller sizes of things, because then I can try more things as opposed to having just a couple of full sizes, which was really just for aesthetic purposes, not for functionality. So I just want to finish this up because it's been sitting there and it's a pretty good primer. I just don't have a whole lot of experience with it, but there's not a lot in here. So I don't want to be hanging on to things like this. A lot of these things are kind of hard to mark my current standing on them, I'm sorry. Like the Benefit Bravo Conditioning Primer. So this is exactly what it sounds like. It's a brow primer, brow conditioner. I've been trying to grow out my brows again. I keep going back and forth with whether or not it's worth it or not. Sometimes I get a little overzealous when I'm like trimming my brows, which is what I did last time, which is why I'm trying to grow it out. And I really want to grow this part, but of course this part is what ends up growing, which is not what I really want. So I kind of have like the crazy messy brows at the end, and I'm still trying to grow out, especially this brow. This is the one that's giving me the most trouble. This one is mostly okay. But anyway, I'm leaving them alone. There's not a lot of product left in here because I've been trying to use this. Whether or not it's actually going to do anything for my brows, I can't really say that I noticed a major difference, but I'm trying to like convince myself that it's going to work. Maybe placebo effect, who knows, but I will try anything at this point. I also have a couple of more things from Benefit. It's really difficult to tell where I stand with these as well because it's a tinted lash primer as well as the brown mascara Roller Lash. I really like both of these. I've just had them for a while and I need to finish them up. I definitely keep mascara way longer than I should. I keep them as long as they're functional, and I know I shouldn't, but I do. Don't at me. If they're working, I'm going to use it, and I really don't declutter my mascara that often. And the Benefit lash primer is so good. I never thought I would like a lash primer, and then I love that one. It just doesn't work with every type of mascara. The more thicker volumizing mascaras, I find it does not work at all. It just makes my lashes really clumpy, but certain formulas, it just really separates my lashes. So I wasn't using it because I was using some other mascaras, but I want to play with it a little bit more. And I need to stop hanging on to things for so long. I know. I have a little tiny liquid highlighter from Tarte. This is the Tarteist Pro Glow. So again, just something that I've had sitting in my makeup collection that I want to maybe use, see if I actually like it enough to pan it or if I just want to declutter it. I'm kind of curious about it because I have it now. Even if I like it, it's not something that I'm going to be purchasing the full size of, but I'm just kind of curious because I have it, so we'll see. And the ColourPop Holiday Super Shock Cheek. So I really need to get rid of a bunch of my Super Shock products because I've also had them for a very long time. So I thought that I would give this a shot, potentially try to hit pan on it. If I like it, if I don't like it, then I can get rid of it. But I thought I'd put it into this project because I feel like it kind of fits with the theme. The Super Shock products, the cheek products, the highlighters, the eyeshadows are something that I'm really running on empty with, and I'm just kind of sick of having them because I'm not using them. So we'll see what happens there. I have a lip balm. This is one of the Fresh Sugar lip treatments. Little tiny bit left of this, but I really like the Fresh Sugar lip treatments, so I do really want to finish that up and stop hoarding lip balms. And the last thing is kind of a weird thing. This is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Liner in Distortion. This I've had for such a long time. I got this one and Midnight Cowboy, I believe, at the same time, but I have so little left of this eyeliner. It's getting hard to use because I'm really like scraping the side of the container to get product out. And I just feel like I need to finish this up and repurchase it. This is the thing that I will be repurchasing once I can't use it anymore because I have all of the heavy metal liners. I will continue to have all of them. I love them so much, and it's a little frustrating that I can't use this one as much as I would like because there's very little left of it. So I just need to finish it, suck it up, buy a new one. All right, so that is everything for my running on empty project pan intro. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns down below, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And thank you so much for all of the love and support on my last video. It has truly blown my mind. I really was not expecting that. So reading the comments has been really overwhelming, but I am so, so grateful. Thank you so much. Anyway, that is all I have to say. Thank you so much again for watching, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.